What this deputy is saying, they are now telling all the parents to go over to... What was that information? What was that information? Okay, so it sounds like they are still not going to be addressing the media, but it sounds like there is a command post set up at the Troutdale Safeway, which is just up the road from where we are. Again, all these parents hoping to get some sort of answers, but very few details even being released to them. So at this point, they still want to keep this road clear because we have seen police officers coming down this road, and more officers continuing to arrive. But at this point, Mike, very few details to let parents know where they need to go. We understand that there was a command post at the Safeway, and as soon as we have more information for parents, we will let them know.
And Brent, just as you mentioned, just to kind of piggyback on that, we have learned the same thing, that students are being evacuated to a Safeway. We have learned that there is a dead-end road at the back of that school, and so that is why some are being filtered out. There are apparently only several ways that you can get out of there because of that dead-end entrance at the back of that school. So as you mentioned, some students are being evacuated to a Safeway, but you can see in that staging area right there that there is still activity, as we presume to be students, maybe staff, faculty, are still being waved over from, as you're looking at your screen, the right-hand side of your screen there, over to the left. We did see earlier some people with their hands up. We can still see that, as obviously at this point in what is being deemed an active shooter situation, officials there don't want to take any chances. Officers obviously asking people to move in an orderly fashion with their hands up in the air, taking no chances at this point. But we do not have any confirmation at this point as to any victims. As soon as we get that information, we will be sure to pass it along. And once again, recapping, if you are just joining us, this is being called an active shooter situation at Reynolds High School in Troutdale, 16 miles east of Portland. The last day of school had been scheduled for tomorrow, with commencement the following day. We are just a few blocks away as our camera zooms out there. Brent Weisberg still remains on the scene gathering more information. Life Flight has been seen flying above the scene. It is being investigated as an active shooter situation. Some students still being moved out. But right now, Brent, have you learned any new information that you can add to this?
Yeah, Mike, the sheriff's office telling us that parents need to go to the Safeway here in Troutdale. That is where parents are being told that is where eventually students are going to be moved to once they are safely debriefed by the officers. But again, so parents need to know you should head to the Troutdale Safeway here. That is where all the students are going to be brought. I want to bring in some more parents here. Tell me a little bit about your son and what communication have you had with him this morning?
I just texted him to know if he's okay, and he said we're inside the room. Teacher took them to the room and locked the room. So they're just waiting there to see what's going on.
He said that there had been the shooting originated in the weight room in the gym, and that one teacher and one student had been shot. And then he said he could hear police fire, and then afterwards we were told that the shooters had been neutralized. He only thought there was one, but everyone through here say there's possibly three. But all he told us was that.
Again, still information that has not yet been confirmed by police, but tell us what your son's teacher did in the moments after when this shooting happened.
They weren't near the gym. He said that they immediately grabbed them and took them into another room and closed the door.
From our perspective here, as we look down Cherry Park Road, where is the gym and the weight room from where we are, if you do know?
I don't know exactly where the gym is. I know it's not even this building, it's the next building down.
And so what have you guys been doing here at this kind of a staging area that has been kind of the makeshift staging area? What have deputies told you about any information about the students or any of the victims?
They won't tell us anything. They say they can't discuss the matter, just that the children will be moved to a safer place, the Safeway, and to go from there.
And you guys have been communicating how with your son? Has it been via phones?
Just by text, yeah.
What time did he first text you, and what was that message?
After I heard from news that this happened in high school, I texted him and he said, I'm inside the room with teacher. We're just waiting.
It's been a big culture shock for my wife. She's from Iran, and if this type of incident happens there, all the families just show up with guns and take care of it. But so we're pretty stressed out that there's nothing we can really do, and just let the police handle it.
Alrighty, thank you very much for your time. Again, that is a similar story, what we've been hearing all morning long. Parents trying to get in touch with their children, either by cell phone or some sort of communication, either Facebook or Twitter. I talked to one parent who said that he had been tweeting with his son earlier just to make sure that he was okay. Again, Mike, very important to reiterate at this point, we have not heard an official confirmation on any type of victim count at this point. It appears just from being on scene and observing the law enforcement officers that the scene is tactically secure, because we no longer see the officers running with their weapons out as we did earlier this morning. At this point, again, parents need to head over to the Safeway, and where the students are being brought over. As we pan over the camera, you can see what appears to be a mother and maybe a neighbor or a son hugging, embracing. That is something that we have seen repeatedly throughout this morning as news of this shooting at Reynolds High School spreads. We are still waiting on official confirmation on exactly what has unfolded. I can see that the crime scene tape is being put out throughout the entire parking lot as well, with different agencies starting to arrive on scene here. Parents, if you are just tuning in, there has been a report of a shooting at Reynolds High School in Troutdale, and they are now being told parents need to head to the Safeway in Troutdale, which is where students will eventually be brought to. It sounds like they may be taking those students by bus or some sort of vehicle transportation, but parents need to head to the Troutdale Safeway, which is just a couple blocks away from where we are at Reynolds High School. Mike?
And Brent, I want to reiterate too exactly what you said. If somebody caught the tail end of that interview with the parent who has a student at that high school, it is an unconfirmed report that there is at least one victim. That is what a parent is hearing from his student who texted his student. The parent also heard that the shooter has been neutralized. We have not gotten any official confirmation, so we just want to make that really clear. Everything we are giving you right now in this live coverage, we want to let you know exactly what we do know and what we don't know. So I want to make that distinction. If you have lived in Oregon for any length of time, you are no doubt familiar with another big school shooting that happened back in 1998, the Thurston High School shooting with Kip Kinkle. I remember that well. I was working in Coos Bay at the time. It was my first on-air broadcasting job, and it happened just a couple of months before that, and the reverberation from that lasted for months and months and years after that. And you all are probably familiar with the sentence that Kip Kinkle did get, serving a 111-year sentence without the possibility of parole. But we do want to get back to this school shooting right now. If you are just tuning in, you can get the very latest information by logging on to our website at coin.com. The details are still very fluid at this point, but here is what we do know. A shooting has been reported at Reynolds High School. That is in Troutdale, Oregon, 16 miles east of Portland. Tomorrow would have been the last scheduled day of school. The staging area, as you can see in that live shot, is a few blocks away. There are still people being moved from the right-hand side of your screen across the street to the left side. We don't know. We assume that these are students, staff, faculty, but they are being escorted, some with their hands in the air, by law enforcement officials from one side of the street to the other. You can see that there is police tape up, blocking back parents. We have given you a shot and live interviews of parents who are at the scene who say that they have been in contact with their children at Troutdale High School. This is being called at this point an active shooter situation. We were told earlier this morning that it was a tactical event that has now been called an active shooter situation. We have seen life flight flying above the scene as well, and we do want to get another update with Brent.
I have new information. Suspect is neutralized. Suspect confirmed dead.
Okay, so I don't know if Brent can hear me. What we just...
Well, good morning, Mike. At this point, we just got an official press release from the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. Let me just read it from you to you. At 8:07 this morning, police responded to Reynolds High School on reports of shots fired at the school. Multiple agencies responded, and tactical teams are currently evacuating students and staff. Again, this information coming from the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. The situation is stabilized, and the shooter is confirmed deceased.